Tonight we are here. We have David Wynn here tonight. Lars is here representing along with his team. And we are here to discuss, I believe there's going to be an offer of mitigation tonight, provided or at least a discussion of the process to go forward and look at mitigation. So we are here tonight on that. Tonight we were supposed to convene this meeting, and then the FAB would have a discussion among itself, and then potentially vote as to whether the mitigation was acceptable or not. We are here tonight because that discussion hasn't occurred, and so the FAB has asked for at least the process to be outlined by which this may occur, and then maybe even potentially have the offer before the FAB, the Fishermen's Advisory Board, so that it could be discussed. Right now, it's envisioned that we would have a stay agreement. That stay agreement would bump out by a week to give an opportunity for some negotiations to occur, and then bump the council meeting potentially out to the 29th. So that's where we're at. The regulations, and the reason we're here is that, and you're seeing this sheet being passed around now, outline it pretty clearly though. The OSHA SAMP was designed to try to get these industries to coexist. It was recognized that there may be components or a project that may not be able to allow for that coexistence, and that mitigation and in some cases compensation may be necessary to do that. So within the plan itself, it recognizes that mitigation can occur, and mitigation is defined as the process to make whole those fisheries or user groups that are adversely affected by the proposal to be undertaken or undertaken projects within the ocean SAMP area. And then that mitigation is supposed to occur as a negotiated settlement between the FAB, the developer, the council staff present to help. And then ultimately, if a package is arrived at or mitigation is offered, ultimately the approval goes to the full council. But the FAB vote is obviously important to the council in understanding those issues. So that's where we are tonight. And just a couple of housekeeping issues. For those who haven't signed in, we'd appreciate if you sign in up front. And then we'll go around with a set of introductions here. The other thing I just want you to note is we have a stenographer here so that we can capture everything that's going on. So if you are going to speak, please announce your name and who you represent before you start speaking for the stenographer. So with that, Grover Fugate, I'm the Executive Director of the Coastal Resources Management Council.
Michael Marchetti, FAB member.
Christopher Brown, FAB member, commercial fisherman out of Point Judith, Rhode Island.
Brian Tebow, FAB member, commercial fisherman out of Point Judith, Rhode Island.
Lisa Turner, CRMC.
David Butel, Coastal Resources Management Council.
James Boyd, CRMC.
Justin Skenyon, CRMC.
Dave Reese, CRMC.
My name is Rick Televex. I'm president of the Rhode Island Party and Charter Boat Association, representing the recreational party.
Greg Madalonis, Rhode Island Lobstermen's Association and FAB member.
Lanny Dellinger, chairman of the CRMC's Fishermen's Advisory Board.
Bill McElroy, Point Judith Lobsterman.
Jay Swoboda, Point Judith Lobster Fisherman.
Peter Broder, Point Judith lobster fisherman.
Bob Erickson, CSA Oceanside.
Robin May, an attorney in the state.
Bruce Lee with Shoreside Processing, Seafresh, USA.
Rich Fuca, Rhode Island Fishermen's Alliance.
Eric Reed, Rhoda.
Katie Almeida, Fishery Policy Analyst for the Town Dock and a board member of Rhoda.
Otto Fox, Town Dock.
Shayla Ernie, Commercial Fisheries Center of Rhode Island. Elizabeth Marchetti, Cedars Solutions and Equinor.
Jason McNamee, Chief of Rhode Island DEM Marine Fisheries.
Julie Livermore, I'm a biologist with Rhode Island DEM Marine Fisheries.
James Violet, commercial fisherman out of Newport, Rhode Island.
Al Eagles, Commercial Fisherman, Newport, Rhode Island.
Beth Cassoni, Executive Director, Massachusetts Lobstermen's Association.
Dave McGee, Commercial
Tom Woods, commercial fisherman, Haven, Mass.
Sam Brown, New Hampshire Public Radio.
Laura Dwyer, CRMC. Karen Bradbury, Senator Whitehouse's office.
Greg Schultz, Rhode Island Attorney General's office.
Nick Young, fisherman, Point Judith, Rhode Island.
Dave Cronk, Nantucket, Mass. Lobster fisherman.
Lauren Karen, Massachusetts Lobster.
Rob Martin, commercial fisherman, Cape Cod.
Tiffany Farrar, Indian Lake.
Eight Point McCoy, Vineyard Wind.
Lars Peterson, CEO, Vineyard Wind. Dean Wagner, Vineyard Wind.
Frank McMahon, Vineyard Wind.
Yeah, just thank everybody for coming. I just want to make sure as part of the record that everyone knows it hasn't been captured yet, but at this point, we do not have a mitigation package to discuss. I don't know if you want to alter anything now, or is that something that we're going to do in the future first?
You want me to comment?
Yeah.
So thank you for giving the opportunity and taking the time. As we said, we have agreed to stay. We appreciate that. I think we have said previously, as we reported here, we're trying to work with the EM to understand the data and find a common understanding of how to interpret the data. We noted that EM published a report yesterday building on previous reports, what their understanding was of the impact of the project. I think we cannot agree to that report for a number of reasons. We think that this study is making assumptions that are fair and just for the way the project would impact the fishery. We have submitted to CRMC and the chairman of the FAB this afternoon our own draft report on how we see the fisheries, which has a different impact in the values than what we saw from the report in the end. So I would say, having said all of that, I think Vineyard Wind understands that there is a package to be presented here. Vineyard Wind is willing to discuss that package and present it. We would ask that we do that in a setting where there are FAB members present, relevant CRMC staff, and members from Vineyard Wind, and we're ready to do that. We can do it tonight, or we can do it any other day, and we're ready to do it.
So you're aware of the guidelines that have been established with the ocean sand process. Are you willing to concede to the process that has been laid out for the ocean sand?
We're willing to meet with you and discuss it with Sam.
Well, I mean, we're down to 2 weeks' time, and we need to make a vote one way or the other so it's going to come down. So we need our own comments, we need our own terms, we need to see a package to discuss, so we know what is entailed in the package. And we need time to get back to the people that we represent to discuss that package.
That's understood. I'm not sure what the question is, Mr. Chairman.
Well, like I said, everything's laid out very neatly inside the ocean sand. If you read the ocean sand policy that relates to fisheries, all of these things need to happen. And unfortunately, since November 27th, none of this has taken place. So we really can find this here. So look at the present practice that you put forward. Yeah. Do you have that?
Yeah, I have it here.
So I think the question is, are you willing to accept the negotiations that have been, the way they have been defined in the ocean sand?
We're willing to meet the fact that
Well, I mean, well, the issue is we may need our own counsel. We may need our own analysis done by somebody that's working for the fishing industry from an economic standpoint. And obviously that will all, those costs will be associated to you as part of your application.
could I just confirm?
Sure.
Oh, we understand that.
Chris?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, the SAMP process was held up almost around the world and identified as being state-of-the-art, thing of beauty, works for everybody, until we get down to the finish line. Get down to the finish line, and I think the industry has been compromised by our governor. I think there has been a usurpation of the authority vested in the Fishermen's Advisory Board. I think it has already shaped the data mining that has given rise to the mitigation strategy, in that we had no say in the parameters. You know, what makes a successful fishery is not just a successful vessel, it is a successful community. You know, our communities support us. They are our partners. They keep us alive at times. They build us nets when we don't have money. They give us fuel when we don't have money. They take care of us. We are in this together, and we need to be mindful of them. By virtue of us not aspiring to closely follow the process that is laid out in the SAMP, which, as I stated earlier, was at one time considered a pretty good document. The train has already attempted to leave the station on our communities. That's not good enough. We need to keep them in our thoughts as we do this. They're a big part of who we are as boat owners and impacted fishermen. Nowhere is it considered reasonable that we would excuse them from this conversation, and nowhere has it been included by our governor in the infancy of these negotiations. So I think when we get away from the document, bad things happen. One other point that we haven't even discussed is that there is supposed to be an escrow account established by the developer to support the costs associated with mitigation discussions. Every time we have to bump into you guys and we gotta pass the hat. I mean, it's killing us. You know, it's in the document. So I think we have to establish the ground rules, all agree to go down the road as it is written, and then we can start some more meaningful dialogues than we've had so far. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else? Brian?
I guess, Laura, seeking a little clarification. So you have obviously had time to review DEM's study as it was given to them by our governor to come up with the economic value of your lease area. You've had time to review that. That document got released yesterday or the other day, and you're not accepting that? Is that?
Yeah, we're not agreeing to it.
You're not agreeing to it. So do you have another document that we can see to that?
Yeah.
And how come to date that has not been made available to us already? Did you want to wait and see which one was lower? Did you want to see if the DEM's was lower than yours? Is that what the tactic was? There's been a lot of time. There's been stays granted, continuances. There's a lot. I have a sneaky feeling tonight I'm going to leave here pretty unsatisfied again at my time being wasted. I gave up a day of fishing today. My daughter called me up. I got a college payment coming up. I gave up another day of fishing to do this. As far as you wanting to meet one-on-one with us, I mean, there's protocols established. This is all an open environment. We're not going in a room. I'm not going in a room and closing the door behind me. I'm not doing that to listen to your offer. I don't know if that's the way it should be. I mean, I know it's Rhode Island. I know you guys have already tried that a whole handful of times and it's worked so far. It's not going to work here. We need to know what's going on. Time to put the pen to the paper and let's hear some talk. You know, you wouldn't move your turbines. You said you can't do it. Uncost economical. So let's hear what you think it's worth to not do that. And that's about it.
else? Any other comments? Al?
Yeah, I'd just like to say a few things. One, I'd like to expand on what Chris Brown said at the last meeting we had here. No fisherman is looking for mitigation. Fishermen are being forced into mitigation because of the situation. The situation is the layout of the wind farm from Vineyard Wind. All of us fishermen with experience out there realize that this is a very dangerous situation. And the lives are going to be lost here. And who's going to be responsible for that? I just think that we've got to go back and look at the beginning of why we even started this. All of a sudden, we're talking about mitigation. I'm still concerned about the safety of the layout of this. And you said at the last meeting we had that nothing can be done about the layout, the way the wind farm is going to be proposed. To me, that's not acceptable. It's just a very dangerous situation. It's going to be the most dangerous situation we've ever had in southern New England out here. Lives are going to be lost here the way this is going to be laid out. And I don't want to see that happen. And like Chris said before, we're not looking for mitigation. None of us are looking for, we want to be able to fish the way we've been fishing for years and decades, safely. And the way this wind farm is laid out, it's going to be a catastrophe. It's not a question if it's going to happen, it's just when it's going to happen. And my question to you would be, what are you going to say about mitigation, about lives lost in this wind farm the way it's laid out? Just answer me that one question, Lars. Take your time and think about it, because everybody in this room is concerned about the safety of the fishermen, and we want to know, what do you consider mitigation for fishermen's lives lost because you refuse to change the layout of the wind farm?
I'm not going to answer that question. I don't think it's a fair question.
It is a fair question because our lives are involved here. You don't understand the dangers of fishing offshore in heavy weather. Winter conditions, it's snowing, you're icing up, it's blowing a gale, maybe even hurricane force winds. I've been out there. There's other people in this room who have been out there in those conditions. And there's a few times where I almost lost my life without a wind farm. And I know if I broke down, got stuck in a few of the situations I went in years ago, when the pilot house got blown off my boat, if I was in the middle of that wind farm, I probably wouldn't come out of it alive. Lives are going to be lost with this wind farm, I can tell you that right now. And how do you face mitigation for families, lives lost, fishermen? It's going to happen, Lars. I know you don't think it's going to, but trust me, you talk about fishermen who have been out there all their lives, that's their biggest concern. So I'd just like you to answer that question for me if you could. And I think it's a fair question. It's the main question, the most important question that anybody can ask in regard to wind farms. It's the safety of fishermen.
I'd like to ask, is there a presentation tonight? I mean, I don't see a projector here. I received an email with your answer to DEM. I only had time to skim through it, not time to actually read and digest it. So I'm sitting here with the task of making decisions, getting a document a couple of hours beforehand. And other people here went fishing. Like Brian just said, I gave up a day to be here. So I'm standing here, my bills didn't get paid today, I'm like decade in 2 days pay off. So I just want to throw that out there because a lot of us come to these meetings as volunteers. Okay, give up. And like I told you last meeting, when I come here and I got nothing in front of me, I'm a problem solution oriented kind of person. I give up a day's work to come here and you give me nothing. Now I got something here 3 hours before this meeting. I want to know if you're going to do a presentation. You made some sort of allusion to that earlier on your strategy, on your mitigation potential, or even on the document that was sent out here, so that all of us have a chance to start grasping that.
I'm willing to do that with the family members, CMC staff, and with the members. I'm all willing to do that tonight, tomorrow.
And we have a room full of people here that are expecting to see this.
Just for the record, I just want to state that I did receive an economic study that Vinnie Wind had conducted on their behalf, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. So that's why all of you haven't seen it, because we just got it ourselves, and I was able to circulate it to the staff members.
The acoustics in this room were terrible. I didn't hear the last part of your statement. Were you prepared to go forward tonight, or?
If we go with the CMC staff, the FAT board members, we can continue.
You don't want to do it all.
Reach
No, I don't
the
want to do
citation, yeah.
I just have no problem doing that after these people.
We're going by the SAM.
Excuse me?
The SAM is
I
very.
need your name. They're arguing against that.
Yeah, but if you read the SAM, we need to have a mitigation package in front of us. Do you have a written mitigation package with you that you can present to the FAB, or is this just verbal, you just want to talk? We need a written package so that we can look at it, so that we can digest it, we can bring it out to the people that we represent, we're gonna have our own people look at it. We have economists, we have attorneys, we have all the same things you have on our behalf. And we need to do a thorough job. We can't just wing this on verbal back and forth. I mean, just,
We can
I'm just being honest, that's what we need. That is what we need. We need a written package to present to the people that we represent.
When do you think you can get that? If you give it to us, we'll distribute it to the FAB.
Do you want to do tonight, or?
Well, whenever you want to give us that package, if it's tomorrow, whatever, in writing, so that we can distribute it, we will distribute it to the FAB and then set the meeting.
That doesn't take long to do. So my ask of you is that I think there is even a written package that has context to that, and I think it merits that we have a chance in a relatively sized group to do that discussion. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I want to be open and give you an opportunity to just put a peer mitigation package together that works with our industry and that works with you. We're not being outlandish here. I mean, we're just asking for the same respect that we're asking for.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Chris.
You know, we will not be comfortable receiving a mitigation package or offering in anything less than a well-lit room that is occupied with a lot of people. Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant there is. And we wish to be, you know, representing the people, but we have to hear from them. It's a feedback deal. You know, I don't want to assume the responsibility of accepting or rejecting purely on what is presented to me in short term. This is going to take a lot of, I mean, just at this table, there's probably 60 fishermen, 70 fishermen represented through the various organizations. We get too far, you know, over our